Welcome to La Paz and welcome to another Gaz Right video. La Paz is the highest capital city in the entire world at 3,500 meters, but it isn't the capital of Bolivia. Sucre is the capital. La Paz is often mistaken, but it is the second largest plateau after the Tibetan plateau. Less of the geography, less of the facts, more about the video. We're going to be on the Teleferico cable cars that connect this unbelievably vibrant city. Valley of the Moon, Witches Market, the dead llamas, and a little bit of caffeine to keep you fueled up the entire way. If you enjoy what you see, do me a favour, do yourself a favour, hit that subscribe button. We're still en route to 3K subs. Let's get cooking, baby. Woo! Straight into a little room tour. Cosmopolitan 503 apartments. As always, the king does not come with the apartment. Lovely little setup, loads of space. Paying £15.50 each per night here. Little kitchen action. Place to sit, do some editing, do a little bit of the old work. We went for a little bit of a bigger place because we thought we might have altitude sickness. My head is already pounding, in fairness, because we did a bit of a hike in Chile yesterday, so that does not bode well. Big bathroom, does what it says on the tin. My biggest gripe, me and Emma saying, when you book somewhere with a washing machine, like you're only here for a few days, give a tiny bit of washing detergent. That is what we want to see. And the bedroom's pretty top drawer as well. Nice bit of TV action. It's like always, do you know what I mean? We want somewhere not crazy price, but do you know what I mean? We want a little bit of space, and yeah. Place where we can unwind and relax, especially if the head is going to be absolutely pounding with the old altitude sickness, which it is thus far for myself. A few things that you might find useful. Taxi from the airport is about 30 minutes. The traffic is like, I'd describe it similar to India. The horns are going, it's absolute carnage. We're like at the furthest side of town, so I guess if you're up near like the bus station, it will be a little bit closer. It was like £5.80 for an Uber, so silly value. The journey was stop, start, stop, start. I had my sunglasses on because my head was hurting so much. So hopefully in the coming hours, days, we can shake off the old altitude sickness. But yeah, we're going to be taking you around, flying about the city. Anything of note, we'll be tuning back in. Any questions, bang it in the comments, yeah, baby. Rested, recuperated. Altitude sickness hit so hard yesterday. I thought a literal pickaxe was going through the side of my temples on both sides. However, we're going to get you straight in the mixer. I'm going to talk about altitude sickness towards the end and a few tips. I got myself sorted within about 18 hours, so hopefully I can do the same for you. Mirador, killi, viewpoint. You know what we do on this channel. We get the banging viewpoints. This is unbelievable. So we've just been having a little wander around here. 360-degree panoramic views across the entire city itself. So it's located on top of the Villapana neighborhood, on top of Santa Barbara Hill. A little bit easier to pronounce. The second one, the actual little statue that you see in the mixer up here in the middle was carved by Agustin Caliazia. That is absolutely not how you pronounce it. However, it's from the 1920s. It's actually moved from the original spot it was, silly viewpoint, over the whole city. It's about 4 kilometers from Plaza Murillo. To put that in perspective, we're going to be going checking out that a little bit later. And the name comes from the bird, the falcon, the big bird of prey, which apparently flies about and runs the show around here. But that's a little bit of insight, a few little facts drizzled and drenched over you. What we're here for are the views. It's an absolute joke. This is our first proper look over the city, and for me it reminds me very much of when I went to like Jerusalem a couple of years ago. Do you know what I mean? It actually looks fake in the distance, like the amount of houses all kind of terraced and tiered all down the mountains. At the top of the screen now, or top of the frame now is like Palo Alto side. So that is the side where the airport is, and then you work your way down this way and then down into the bottom of the city. We got a taxi straight from our hotel up here. It's about 15 minutes. It sets about £2.10. So anyone who's looking to get Ubers, it is insane value. We've got the king down here surveying the kingdom, but it's an absolute hell of a start. I think my initial impressions of La Paz have been so good. We had a little walk to get some food yesterday, nothing too strenuous, and do you know what I mean? Just bursting with energy, bursting with culture, and yeah, it looks like an absolute hell of a spot. But yeah, you know me, sucker for the viewpoints, so for all of it already, this is going to be an absolute must. Emma King taking the views in. And yeah, just ruthless scenes, left, right and centre. And then one other little tip that I've noticed is BBC weather just doesn't work here. So we looked at the weather yesterday. It was meant to be raining all 5 days we're here, or 4 full days. And yeah, literally been a ridiculous pure sun. I actually burnt my neck in about 10 minutes of going outside yesterday. So do prepare for that. Check different kind of maps like AccuWeather and Apple Maps. But for me, this is an absolute must. Silly scenes and a little freebie to kick the day off. Next stop on the Magical Mystery Tour are the colourful streets of Jaén, the oldest colonial streets in the entire building. You've just got ruthless amounts of museums left, right and centre, giving me very much like Positano vibes, very European vibes, hence the colonial element. It has some of the first martyrs of the revolution back dating to 1809, some super old houses and just silly architecture. There's different kind of trips you can do here, as you can see right in front of me. If you want a little bit more in-depth analysis on the area, jump on one of these. If you just want me whispering sweet nothings into your ear, you're in the right spot. But yeah, very much giving me like French Riviera vibes, very much like Italian vibes. Silly scenes. But yeah, cool little street. If you are wanting to do any of the old museum tours, you do need to bring a bit of the old cashish. Me and Em still need to get some out. But yeah, cool little buildings, cool little setup. And everything today is in chronological order. So if you are following along, I've done the hard work, so you don't have to. So yeah, if you just want to bang it in to the old Google, everything. It's the shortest route. It's making your life easier. Any questions, always bang it in the old comments. Respond to every single message. The King, surveying. What are your thoughts so far, Em?
I love it. It's so interesting. It's so different to anywhere I think we've ever been. Yeah, colourful, and yeah.
Seal of approval?
Definitely.
Yeah, super flair. When you're exploring, flying about the city, you need to get some coffee, some caffeine in the bones, along with some H2O and hydration. Just went to the Writers Cafe, Writers Coffee Shop. Lovely little setup. You've kind of got like a bookshop at one part, a little stationery shop, and then you go into like a really nice like art deco type place, all like dimly lit. Me and Em had a lovely little seat overlooking the street. Do you know what I mean? Lovely little spot for people watching. Get a little cappuccino, get a little latte in the bones. But we're now on the main square, Plaza Murillo, named after the big fella himself, one of the key figures leading in the old independence. Have you ever seen as many pigeons in your absolute life? Cannot bloody move for the fellas, left, right and centre. It's a good little spot for a few JPEGs. You've got the National Congress building over on this side where we've got the King just flying about in the distance. But yeah, silly buildings, lovely bit of architecture. It's going to be a little recurring theme of today. And then on this side, you've got the cathedral, the basilica. And again, I feel as if like it's what we said before about like the colonial side and obviously the architecture and the buildings, but you could literally tell me you were in like the centre of like the French Riviera, a little piazza in Italy, and I would believe you. So yeah, lovely little spot, lovely little buildings. Would definitely give this a little visit. Again, if you want a little bit more history, a little bit more meat on the bones, there's loads of different kind of walking tours. Yeah, flying about the place. So yeah, me and Em, you know what we do. We just explore, do a little bit of research before we get here so I can drop some pearls of wisdom to yourself. And yeah, we just get in the thick of it. Because I think sometimes when you're on a tour, I guess if it's purely English speaking, we've done a couple of tours like the one we did at Valparaiso and stuff. But when it's like Spanish, Portuguese and English, do you know what I mean? You're only getting a few nuggets here and there. So for me, get yourself in here, do a little bit of recon before, listen to my wispy tones and then get your flare JPEGs, get the coffee in the system, and then yeah, next up we've got the Witches Street and the Dead Llamas, which sounds like it's going to be absolute carnage. Walking, talking, perusing through the old Witches Market. Quite ironic, the Witches Market, because there's a massive church and then just behind it there's people whipping up pots and potions. We're yet to see any dead llamas, llama fetuses, llamas fetusi. What's the plural for multiple fetuses? Fetuses, I guess. We digress from the point. Apparently here there's meant to be like loads of like dead snakes, dead turtles, all crazy amounts of animals. We've been walking around beautiful streets. You've got like the umbrellas above me now, and loads of cool like t-shirts, souvenirs. If you need like warm stuff as well. If you want one of the jumpers where it's like I went to Bolivia and found myself plenty of those on offer, but we're yet to see any of the old llamas. I heard I've read online, research, that basically they kill them and bury them under houses for luck. So if you're quote unquote poor, you would have one that was like died at birth and then, do you know what I mean, use that. If you are, do you know what I mean, a rich Bolivian, apparently you would sacrifice one and bury it under a new house. So I think it's one of those that when you say it, and you're probably listening online, you probably think that is super left field, but I guess it's like different areas of the world, different areas of the world, different cultures, got to go in with an open mind. If I do see any, I'll check back in, overlay it as we kind of went through. But yeah, super, super cool streets, lots to see, lots to explore, lots of colours. So yeah, again, all thumbs up from G-Dubs so far. Get it on the list, baby. When you're abroad, new countries, new horizons, and you need some fuel, you need some food to keep you going. It's about tasting a few local delicacies. Today is not that day. We've gone for the staple, the traditional English pub. Caught our eye, does help me a little bit with the old nut allergies, but have a close-up on this. We have gone for the steak and ale pie. Obviously the extra gravy on the side. Ridiculous behaviour. We're going to get M on the taste test this time. It smells unbelievable for what you just cut open there. Talk to me. Talk me through the flavour combinations.
I tell you, that mash, amazing. Meat, yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10. That is good. Mm-hmm.
The things you love to see. Loads of meat in there. You know, to be fair, with me with the nut allergy, it's a little bit harder to eat local food, but we literally saw bangers of mash, brought us in, and then the steak and ale pie had my name written all over it. Little taste test. We've got extra gravy on the side, you know what I mean? We're not playing any games. Any place that does chip chop shit, you know is going to be on to a banger. It's proper onion gravy as well. In the words of Sergio Aguero, different gravy. Get this on the list, baby. The best way to see the entirety of La Paz is on the Teleferico. I've been calling it Telefonica. It's a part of O2 apparently. We digress. Unbelievable vantage point. I imagine it like being in a drone. You're up in the sky, you're getting that aerial top-down view, and it's unbelievably vast. We've gone across two lines. We've got the light blue line and then the green line. The green line is meant to be like the wealth line, so it takes you to like the most affluent area. I'll be discussing that a little bit shortly when we get there, but it's silly value. So it was 55p each to cross two lines and then do like day saver stuff as well. If you want to go to the highest point in La Paz, you want to get the red line, that takes you right to the top. Apparently it's unbelievable views. A few little things we saw online said you should only go there on a Sunday. One, because there's not much to see apart from there's a market on a Sunday, and I'm not sure how much they welcome tourists on other days apart from a Sunday, but that's just what we saw online. For me, everyone has been super, super friendly so far in La Paz, Bolivia, so nothing but good words to say, to see. But yeah, beautiful little vantage point. You've got all the different buildings. It's actually like nothing I've ever seen before. I think at the start of the video I was saying, oh, it's similar to like Jerusalem and places like that where I've been. It is so vast. And the landscape is ridiculous. You've got all different kind of like terracing down the hillside, and you just can't believe some of the places where they've managed to build. Like the rocks are super, super steep, and there's just terrace after terrace after terrace in terms of the houses, all different colours, which I think elevates it to and takes it to the next level. Because, do you know what I mean? Obviously, you've got the rock, and obviously the kind of like sandy kind of colour of the rocks and the mountains in the distance, but all the different colours of the buildings really do bring it to life, and so forth. So yeah, for me, get yourself on these. They've all got different cool little spots and stuff you can kind of view. The two that we've been on, the light blue and the green, have been absolutely top draw, but I imagine going up to the red, going higher and flying about, all of them will also be good. Any questions, as always, bang it in the comments, yeah, baby. The final stop of the day, and if you can hear my wispy tones perfectly clear, this should be a shout out to the DJI Osmo Pocket, because it's unbelievably windy. We digress. We go back to where we are now, Valle de Luna, Valley of the Moon, aptly named after, I nearly said Lance Armstrong, and I was thinking, bloody hell, if he cycled to the moon, that would be a hell of an innings from him. Neil Armstrong saw this from the moon, came here, and apparently that is why they call it Valley of the Moon. Everything we've seen today has been absolutely phenomenal, and I was kind of expecting something out of this world, and I guess it is to a point. Do you know what I mean? It's cool geology if you're into that, but you could probably hear the cars behind me. I'll give you a little flip ride. Like, you're just on a main road, and then out of nowhere, like that's here. I felt it'd be a lot more remote. Do you know what I mean? It's cool. You can have like a wander up, walk round, take a few of the old sites and get a few of the old JPEGs. I've not seen any like actual tours, so maybe that's something you could look into if you're going to come here, because I think it's like anything. When you've got somebody who knows the landscape inside out, they can kind of walk and talk you through it, bring things to life a little bit more. But yeah, I think for me, this has probably been the biggest letdown of the day itself. I hate giving slightly negative reviews, but you know what you get with this channel. 100% honesty. A couple of the good things, it is insane value. It was £1.75 each to come in here. It's cool to get some shots, cool to have a float about, but if there was one thing off the list today that I would maybe miss, it would be this. As I say, everything today is in order, so when you get off the green Teleferico, whatever it's bloody called, the cable cars, it's about an 11-minute taxi to here. So again, super easy to get to, super easy to get around. But yeah, for me, just walking, talking, having a look right now, it's decent, it's cool. However, yeah, I don't know, I think I might give this one a miss, to be honest. So yeah, we're going to give a little full review, a breakdown come tomorrow. Do you know what I mean, when we've digested our thoughts? But it's been an unbelievable day. We thought we were going to be capping off with an absolute banger, but you know, we can't win them all. We'll be seeing you very shortly for the outro, baby. And it's about to rain. The things you hate to see. Quick, get to the chopper. We got to get out of here. So let's talk a little bit about the old altitude sickness, because it hit me so hard when we first landed here. We were in Chile, so we were already about 500, 600, 700 meters, and we'd actually done a hike the day before to about 1.82 thousand meters, so it wasn't like we were going in completely dry. However, I felt as if someone had taken a pickaxe and they were absolutely battering into my temples. Trying to get altitude sickness tablets here, it went to about 5-6 different pharmacies. Absolute no bueno. So if you are going to want to get some before you arrive. Things you can do to sort yourself out: number one, rest, recuperate, chill inside. I had my sunglasses on, sat inside in a dark room, and that's going to sort you out a little bit. You want to make sure you're unbelievably well hydrated, not just while you're feeling ill, but whilst you're walking around here. So get in the water in the system. If you want to get some added electrolytes, we can go with a little bit of coconut water, Himalayan salt, lemon, get that all mixed together, and that's just silly amounts of electrolytes. Had that when I was doing my ultra marathon, backyard ultra, a couple of years ago, and that will sort you out. In terms of local drinks, you can get the mate, the cocoa mate, so M-A-T-E space cocoa. It's like a little tea drink, kind of like a green tea. It's actually pretty nice. Batter as many of those as you can. So I brought a massive like vat of those, and I'm just going to be smashing those every day, even when I'm not ill, just to keep, do you know what I mean, everything at bay. And the final thing is you want to be eating the right foods, silly amounts of carbs. So, do you know what I mean, with a rig like this, you know, I'll be smashing the carbs left, right and centre. I'm walking up a little bit of a hill here and already out of breath. That shows you what the landscape is like. But yeah, just prepare yourself, because it doesn't matter how fit you are, it will come and it will get you. Outro time, baby. I was going to do it all in one clip with the altitude sickness, but walking uphill, as you could hear at the end, I was actually gasping for air. So we're going to talk a little bit slower, we're going to walk a little bit slower, and just digress. I was going to do it the day after, but you know what I mean, we've had a little bit of chill time now, me and them. Got a little chocolate milk in the bones, a little cacao Barcelona chocolate milk. It's just absolutely different gravy. But let's get back to Bolivia, La Paz. Phenomenal. Absolutely gets my seal of approval. Great people, lots to see, lots to explore, and the place just bursting with like energy and culture. So I absolutely loved it. As I say, the one semi thing I think, oh, you don't really need to go to is Valley of the Moon. I did have a little look up online just to reconfirm what I was saying. Neil Armstrong actually saw the Salt Flats, like a huge area, came and then he named it, do you know what I mean, Valley of the Moon. This specific area made it into a tourist attraction, which is obviously good for the Bolivian and La Pazian. Is that a term? I don't know. It is now. But my favorite thing, I'm always a sucker for a viewpoint. If you've watched the channel for a little while, you know I'm always about those views. So the killi, the Falcon viewpoint, phenomenal, 360-degree panoramic over the city, and it does help when the sun is just beating down and the JPEGs are flowing. If you've not seen the JPEGs already, it means one thing and one thing only: you don't follow me on Instagram. Daily uploads, a little bit different insight to what you see on the old YouTube. Gareth Wright too, if you want to get involved in the action. Couple
of little tips. Number one is you need cash. If you're booking Ubers and stuff, that's absolutely fine to get around. However, when you're in cafes, restaurants, bars, anything in between, I'd say like 90% of the places you need cash to get in those. So yeah, make sure you draw some out, and different ATMs depending on what card you've got. We had to go to like 3 different ATMs because we were drawing out off a MasterCard debit card. Not all of them do MasterCard. So again, something to bear in mind. And the other little tip wire is there's going to be a banger video. Hopefully we're in negotiations. If you've looked up La Paz online, there's Cholita wrestling, which is like local women doing like WWE and people pay and go and watch that. We're in negotiations, me and a friend, to go and wrestle with them. So if you do want to see me get beaten up by some Bolivian women, by the time you'll watch this, it might already be live on the channel. We're hopefully going to be going in 2 days if the negotiations go well. So that's going to be a separate video because I think there's going to be lots within that. If you have any questions, Bolivia, La Paz, how we got around, visas, anything you want to know, bang it down in the comments. I respond to every single message while you're down there. Hit that subscribe button. Still en route to 3K subs. I'll see you in the next one, baby. Remember the chef, he's always cooking. Let's get it.